My name is Hazel. I've never believed in love at first sight. Never believed in poetry, or destiny, or soulmates. I believed in warm coffee on cold mornings, in bills that had to be paid, and in keeping your head down and working hard. Love wasn't something I thought I deserved or even understood. But that changed the day I saw him. It was autumn, and the city was shedding its colors. Maple leaves fell like whispers on the sidewalk as I hurried to the cafe near my office. I'd worked as a legal assistant for 6 years, long enough to know how meaningless most cases really were. Everyone lied. Everyone wanted something. But that morning, I was running late, and my usual rhythm was off. That's when I saw him. He was sitting on the park bench across from the cafe. Not doing anything in particular. Just sitting. A book in his lap. A green scarf knotted carelessly around his neck. He looked up when I passed, just briefly, and our eyes met. For no reason at all, my heart did something strange, like it paused, then stuttered forward again. I told myself I wouldn't look again. But I did. He was there again the next day. And the next. Always on the same bench, always at the same time, 8:25 a.m. Just sitting, sometimes reading, sometimes just staring into space. He looked lost. Like he didn't belong in the world around him. I noticed things. The way his hand trembled when he turned pages. The way he always rubbed his right temple. The way he smiled sadly at pigeons like he missed something he couldn't explain. I don't know why I started caring. I didn't even know his name. But something about him pulled at me. Maybe it was the loneliness I saw in him. Maybe it was because it mirrored mine. I started going earlier. Just to see if he'd be there. I'd sit in the cafe by the window, pretending to read my phone, when really, I was watching him. I told myself I was just curious. But that wasn't the truth. It was a Wednesday when he smiled at me. I was standing in line for coffee, my usual spot by the window taken, when I felt someone step beside me. I turned, and there he was. Up close, he was even more beautiful than I imagined. Not movie star handsome, but real. Gentle eyes. Slight stubble. A scar on his jaw that made him look like he'd lived. "You come here a lot," he said. I blinked. "So do you." His smile was tired but warm. "I'm Luke." "Hazel," I said. That was all. No grand conversation. But the moment stretched, quiet and meaningful, like a pause in a song you didn't know you loved until it stopped. He nodded, took his coffee, and left. And I stood there, heart pounding, wondering why a stranger's name felt like a story I already knew. From that day, we spoke more. Not every morning, and not always for long. But slowly, I learned pieces of him. He was a writer. Or at least he used to be. Hadn't written in 2 years, he said. Something about losing his voice. I didn't ask too much. He didn't offer much. But the silence between us was never uncomfortable. It was like, we both understood something without saying it. One rainy morning, I found the courage to ask, why the same bench every day? He looked at the wet trees, the falling leaves. "It's where she used to sit." "She?" He hesitated. "My fiancée. She died 2 years ago. Hit by a drunk driver. I haven't left this city since." I didn't speak. I couldn't. All I could do was reach for his hand and hold it gently, unsure why I cared so much. But I did. The seasons shifted, and so did we. We weren't lovers. Not yet. Not quite friends, either. But we became something in between. He'd sit across from me at the cafe now. He'd ask about my job. I'd ask about his writing. Once, I saw him sketching something in a notebook and asked to see. It was a poem. Rough, unfinished. I can't write about her anymore, he said. But I don't know how to write about anyone else. You will, I whispered. He looked at me, eyes soft. Why do you care? I didn't know how to answer. Maybe because no one had ever asked me that before. Because, someone should. Spring came. He was different in the sunlight. Less haunted. I watched him help an old man cross the street. I watched him feed birds in the park. He was healing, I thought. One morning, he gave me a folded paper. It was a short poem. She smiled like spring / after a long, cruel winter / I did not know / I could feel warm again. He didn't say it was about me. But it felt like it was. Then he stopped showing up. A day passed. Then 3. Then a week. I told myself he was fine. Maybe he traveled. Maybe he was finally writing. But my chest felt heavy. Like I had been handed someone's story and left with the last page missing. I didn't have his number. I didn't know where he lived. He had slipped into my life like a breeze and now was gone. I sat on the bench where he always did. I stared at the trees and let tears fall. I missed someone who was never mine. That question haunted me. Why did I care? I'd only known him for a few months. We weren't dating. We barely knew each other. But maybe we did know each other. In the ways that mattered. In the quiet spaces. In the silences. Maybe he saw the loneliness in me too. The girl who smiled at everyone and came home to an empty apartment. The girl who worked long hours and pretended she liked her job. The girl who never believed in love. He had become the one person I looked for each day. And now he was gone. One rainy evening, I found a small envelope tucked under my windshield wiper. It was from him. Hazel. I'm sorry for disappearing. I didn't know how to say goodbye. You brought color back into my world. You cared when I forgot how to. Let someone in. I'm not gone. Just away, for now. I need to write again. I need to become someone I'm not ashamed of. I think I might be falling for you. I'll be back, if you'll still care. Luke. I held the letter to my chest. And I cried. Because yes, I still care. 3 months later, I was sitting on that same bench when I saw him walking toward me. A little thinner. But lighter somehow. Like he had left something behind. He sat beside me. I wrote a book, he said. It's about her. And about you. I smiled through tears. You came back. I told you I would. And for the first time, I let my hand reach for his. And this time, he didn't let go. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment and share. More emotional and inspiring stories are coming soon.